Hello ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of Jim Makes a Cartoon. I'm Jim and I'm making a cartoon. In this video you'll see me add some effects to one of the episodes of Dictator Cat using two different programs, Anime Studio and then later Motion 5. I used Anime Studio to create the indoor lightning and shadow effects, and I used Motion 5 to create the outdoor storm effects. Now I had some notes on what I wanted to talk about today, but then I forgot that I had an eye doctor appointment, and so I can't read any of them right now because my pupils are completely dilated. Yeah, I'm not very smart sometimes, but I'm still going to try to go as much as I can as possible from memory from the outline I wrote earlier today. Something that a lot of animators are talking about lately is the unfortunate lack of original content. That is to say, cartoons and such that are not based on an already existing intellectual property. Now, I don't think that there's a lack of original stuff out there. I just think that YouTube's algorithm doesn't reward that very well. And it's honestly kind of understandable. The people at YouTube adjust their algorithm in order to better respond to general online audience trends. Parodies and other video content that references other intellectual property has always done a lot better than totally original content online. I remember this being the case even back when I visited Newgrounds back in the day. Yeah, there definitely was a lot of original and brand new stuff, but over time a lot of those started to fall through the cracks and become sublimated by parody content. For example, as most of you probably know, I'm part of the Frederator network, and Frederator every Saturday puts out a compilation program called Saturday Morning Cartoons. I've actually been featured on that a few times. In fact, it's probably how most of you found this channel. So while it's going to sound like I'm being very harsh and critical of the Frederator network right now, I want you to hear me out because in general they've treated me pretty well. So for a while, Saturday Morning Cartoons was a compilation of cartoons from several different independent artists, showcasing original new content, mostly comedy with maybe a little bit of action thrown in here and there, very much in the tradition of TV Saturday morning cartoons. And then on episode 45, things started to change. There was this shift from wholly original content more and more towards parodies. Now, there definitely were parodies before episode 45, but that's really when there was a big turnaround. Just to kind of give you an idea of what this shift was like, here are a few titles from before episode 45. Time-Traveling Dinosaurs, Frog Prince Does Not Kiss, The Very Last Unicorn, Rude Time-Traveling Kitties from the Future. Now here are some titles after episode 45. Star Wars Cartoons Awaken, Pokemon vs. Digimon in Violent Cartoons, Frozen, Sonic the Hedgehog and more, Princess Peach, Super Smash Bros. And more, Adventure Time, Minecraft and more. Now there's nothing wrong with focusing your shows around parodies, and they still include a little bit of original content. I, as well as a bunch of other independent artists, have been featured since that shift. And you know what? I like parodies too. I like them just fine. I'm subscribed to Dorkly, for example. They're almost exclusively parodies. I enjoy Barely Productions, and with few exceptions, almost all they do are music parodies. So what Frederator is doing is really just responding to an algorithm that favors existing intellectual properties. Now, what actually got me thinking about this was the section of trending links that you see on the right side of Facebook. And one of them was a link to a recreation of the Super Smash Bros. Melee introduction done by a collaboration of 30 animators, all in completely different styles. And so I clicked and watched that because, well, I like animation, and Super Smash Bros. Kind of tugged on those nostalgia strings in my heart. And to be fair, it was pretty well done. All the artists involved did a really good job, but I also noticed something. With the exception of one or two animators on that collaboration, nobody really did anything that original. From a technical standpoint, every single animator did a fantastic job, but other than a style update, most of the contributions didn't really bring anything new to the table. And yet I clicked it, watched it, and I'm going to be posting a link to that channel because I believe the animators who worked on it deserve the credit and the views. And it forced me to have a really hard conversation with myself. Can I really lament the lack of a reward for creativity when I myself contribute to the greater problem? And I really thought hard about my viewing and interaction habits online. I realized that even if I thoroughly enjoy somebody's video, I'm still highly unlikely to subscribe to that person's channel, or leave a comment, or share. I realized that I am far more likely to click on a link of a property that I recognize as opposed to something else that might be just as good that's wholly original. I'm finding as I get older and have less and less free time in my day, I'm more likely to go with what's comfortable than what's new when I'm seeking out entertainment. And I think that's really part of the problem that a lot of content creators have right now. Almost every creative person wants to tell their own stories, their own unique, original takes on the world, and just kind of drive the point home about how difficult it is to even get credited for your work. I don't remember where I saw this, but this person said something pretty profound to me, and that's, if you want to be successful as an artist, it's a balancing act between what you as the creator want and what the audience wants. And audiences in general want what's comfortable and familiar. Like, a lot of people only get maybe a half hour to themselves a day, if that much, so that time is pretty valuable. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna watch the Super Mario Brothers cartoon that you know you're gonna like because you enjoy Super Mario Brothers? Or are you gonna watch this new science fiction cartoon that you've seen somewhere? The risk there is, if you watch the science fiction cartoon, you just may have wasted what little time you had that day to enjoy for yourself. YouTube's algorithm rewards unoriginality because we reward unoriginality. Frederator, in turn, in reaction to that algorithm, changed their focus to parodies and referential content. No one here is doing a bad or evil or immoral thing. They're simply reacting to what people in general want. Now, that's not to say there aren't lots of people who want new, original, interesting stuff. All of you here who watch this channel, it's truly humbling for me to think that somebody saw what I was making and thought it was good enough to stick around and subscribe. You people out there took that risk with that incredibly valuable resource of time and decided to spend that resource here. So as I continue to work on Dictator Cat, which by the way is in part an attempt to reach a larger audience, not that I don't actually truly put my heart into it, I'm starting to consider where I'm gonna go next with this. I don't necessarily want to start doing lots of parodies, but maybe that's gonna be a necessary evil I have to commit once in a while. But no matter what I do, I want to make the same promise to you that I made to myself a long time ago. I will never put something together that I don't at least at first think is funny myself. I never want to produce a video that I myself would not watch. I don't want to make the transformation from animator to online marketer, is what I'm saying. But on the other hand, we've got this glut of referential content out there, not just in the animation space, but in the sketch comedy space as well, that maybe audiences are about to start burning out from it. Maybe we're going to see things turn around and people are going to start watching new series out there that they haven't heard of before. So who knows how this is really going to go in the future. What do you think about that? And please, if you're going to comment about this, please keep it civil. I know people get really passionate about this topic, but this is a place for good vibes here. You can be critical, but you can't be mean. Well, that's it for today's episode. I want to thank you again for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And please, as always, share. I'll see all of you wonderful people next Friday.